Have you ever discovered a new series, became totally addicted, then began to wonder why it took you so long to get into it and also why everyone isn't talking about it? To me, right now, that is the Trails series. It only took a single playthrough of Trails of Cold Steel 1 on the PS4 to both completely intrigue and motivate me to play through the others in this 9-game series. Now that I've started, I just can't stop. For some context, Trails in the Sky, or more widely known as Trails in the Sky FC, is the first of 3 Sky titles. This trilogy is all set in the same world and time as both the Trails of Cold Steel series and the Japanese exclusive PSP series known as the Crossbell arc. If Cold Steel succeeded in luring me into playing all of the Trails games, then Trails in the Sky has completely grabbed me hook, line and sinker. Trails in the Sky is a great JRPG for so many reasons and the start of something huge. Before we get into it, if you liked this review, it would help out a lot if you hit the like button and subbed if you want more RPG content and Trails content. I have a feeling that there is going to be a lot of that coming up. Alright, so this is why you need to start playing the Trails series right now, and what better way to start than with the first game chronologically. Let's get into it. The story and world building is truly what makes the entire Trails series so amazing. Trails in the Sky is set a few years before that of both the Cold Steel and Crossbell games and is set in the kingdom of Liberl, which borders Cold Steel's Erebonia. Here, the narrative focuses on the 2 characters Estelle and Joshua, 2 young step-siblings who are on a quest to become fully fledged bracers. Bracers are basically a highly respected international organization acting to keep the peace and protect those in need. Early in the game, their father Cassius, who happens to be a famous bracer, mysteriously leaves on a mission and soon becomes completely uncontactable. This leads Estelle and Josh to travel around the country to investigate the disappearance of their father while also working towards becoming senior bracers. The progression of the story takes the couple around the 5 regions of Liberl. At each stop, you'll need to fulfill a number of bracer requests on the job board and then a major plot point which usually involves the politics within the country and how all of it links in with your father's disappearance. In terms of pacing, sometimes things move very slowly, particularly at the start of the game and when you're tasked to take on the load of bracer requests. At other times, however, it is the complete opposite. There are some incredibly intense, well-written moments that glued me to the screen, clinging on to every line of dialogue, and there is a lot of that. At the end of the game, the setup for the next Sky game was outstanding, and I could not wait to jump right into the second Sky title. What I also loved was all of the subtle and sometimes not so subtle references to the other games in the series. The world building in the entire series is amazing, and countless times I noticed references that enhanced my knowledge of the world as a whole, which will no doubt translate into a greater level of enjoyment when playing future titles. This is one of those series where it would be a crime not to play them all. I haven't felt this way about a world since the Suikoden series. There is seriously no shortage of content to cling onto if you want to be completely absorbed into this fictional setting, and this is what makes the game and series so amazing. This dialogue-driven story allows for some excellent character development, and what better example of this than with the 2 main characters. At the very start of the game, there are many question marks around Joshua's history prior to being adopted by Cassius, and the way that the story reveals this information is highly engaging. This is almost entirely due to how attached I became with both Estelle and Joshua and their relationship with one another. The quantity and quality of the scenario writing made it that I couldn't help but love these characters, and this fully invested me into their journey. The story is all about them, and this is highlighted by the fact that the other playable characters come and go as the game goes on, and the way that this has been done works very well. Many different characters will pop up multiple times through the game, and when they team up with you then leave your party, it feels completely natural. They all have their own goals and motivations, and when these align with Joshua and Estelle's, it feels so seamless and believable. You know, unlike certain characters who just seem to tag along because why the hell not? Throw the excellent cast of characters in with loads of twists, turns and genuinely excellent writing and you have yourself a winner. This is where Trails in the Sky truly shines. Your party can initiate a battle by running into the enemy on the field and gain the upper hand in battle if approaching the enemy from behind. Something that I really liked was how your party members follow you around the world. However, this becomes a pain when they run into enemies. Not only does this initiate an unwanted battle, but the enemy will also have the upper hand. The combat system itself is quite simple, but it does work very well, and while most of the game won't be very challenging, the difficulty spike towards the end of the game both felt natural and provided some great strategic battle moments. If you've played Cold Steel, you can expect something very similar. Up to 4 characters can participate in each battle and can be placed in predefined formations. The turn order is located on the left, and when it's the character's turn, they can attack, use a unique craft or an art, which is basically a magic spell. Things to consider include EP management for arts, CP management for crafts, and the positioning of your characters. If a character has over 100 CP, they can also unleash a super powerful unique S-craft that will fully deplete their CP but devastate the enemies. These can also be used at any time, so jumping to the front of the turn order to take advantage of the turn's bonuses is a great strategy. I also mentioned before that many party members will come and go throughout the story. Each of these characters have their own strengths and weaknesses in battle, and adjusting your strategies to suit this works very well. Now, some people may not like the idea of only having Joshua and Estelle as the permanent party members throughout the game. To that, I say, no, that's wrong! Seriously, this game is all about Joshua and Estelle, their journey and their relationship, and the way that the game is structured suits this perfectly. Besides, when a character comes back into the story, it can be for awesome reasons. The only major customization feature in Trails in the Sky is the Augment system. This is similar to what you would experience in Cold Steel, in that each character has an augment with 6 slots, and the quartz that you choose to equip into these slots will impact your stats and your arts in battle. Just think about materia from Final Fantasy VII, it's kinda like that. The real fun here comes in combining quartz with specific elements. Aside from providing stat adjustments such as HP plus 10%, each quartz also comes with an elemental value such as 3 water or 5 fire. If you reach a specific combination of elemental values, you will be able to use an associated art in battle. Tira, for instance, heals an ally for 1000 HP, and you can use it if you have quartz equipped with 4 elements of water. Mixing and matching quartz to both buff your characters and activate specific spells was a lot of fun. This system is great, but I would have liked a greater variety of quartz, as I felt that most of them were obtainable at around the halfway point of the game. The attack 1, 2 and 3 quartz were also quite frustrating, as not only do they increase a character's attack by a percentage, but they also lower your defense by the same percentage. This was the only quartz with negative effects, and this made no sense to me. The English version of Trails in the Sky is available on both the PSP and PC. I played it through Steam, and visually I felt right at home with the whole classic JRPG look and feel that it provided. I will admit, however, that I found navigating through the menu very frustrating at times. For instance, when you enter the Augments menu, you see an animated icon that should indicate that you can move through the menu. My point is that there is misleading user feedback here, and this was something that I never got used to. While feeling stupid for being utterly incapable of basic navigation, at least I was at peace with the amazing soundtrack. There were many tracks that really stood out and perfectly fit the mood of the moment, and there were a lot of moods and a lot of moments. This is what classic JRPG soundtracks should all aspire to. What can I say? The Trails series is slowly becoming one of my favourite RPG series. After playing Cold Steel, I just had to know more about this incredible world, and Trails in the Sky delivered in just about every area. The story, the world building, and the characters are the reasons that you need to play this series. Joshua and Estelle are brilliant, deep characters who I grew to love, and I am excited to see how their journey progresses. Also worthy of praise is the great soundtrack that has loads of tracks at a very high standard. Honestly, the only real downside that Trails in the Sky has is the slow pacing. Yes, I know that it's all character and world building, but at times I just wanted this great story to progress rather than working through repetitive quests on the job board. 2 Trails games down, 7 to go. 2020 is my year of the Trails, and hopefully it'll be yours too. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you like this, do me a favour and hit the like button. Also, sub for loads more Trails and RPG content. You can also say hi on the socials. See you next time.